Hopefully I wrote it right. I think I did.
Okay. All right. Does everyone have their name and date?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. LJ, you have your name, baby. And you did not do a dot six. I need you to do a dot six. Dot six.
That's it.
Yep. There you go. All right, LJ, let's do our date. Do number sign. 3. Yep. Do 3. See? Hyphen, so 3, 6. Yep. Number sign. 1. 8 is H. No. Wait, no, go back. It's 1, 2, 5. Yes. Hyphen. 3, 6. Number sign. 2, 5.
5 is E.
Yes. Good. Now you can lie down.
And 10 is
Slide it back. Now do number sign. 1. Period. Is a drop
did it first,
E.
Hannah.
2, 5, 6.
I'm Miss Mobley.
2, 5, 6.
Miss Mobley.
Yes.
There's actually a letter in the alphabet after Z.
Yeah, it's called ampersand.
Hey guys, we need to get our brains ready to learn. Gavin, line down to number 1.
I forgot about the ampersand sign.
Good job, Pinelli. All right, guys. We're going to do yesterday's science because we did not get to it because we were so busy. So, who can tell me what are we learning about in science that we learned about last week? Gavin.
Scientific method.
Scientific method. What is the scientific method, Hannah?
The method that scientists for experiments.
Yes, it's the steps that scientists use to do experiments. Interiors, do you remember how many steps there are? Huh? No, what was your first answer? Say it with confidence. 4 steps? Okay, you're very close. There are 5 steps.
Oh, so I was gonna say.
And sometimes 6. Kaden, what was this possibly the 6th step?
Wasn't it experiment?
Right, they sometimes have to repeat the experiment to get another round of data. So, we talked about the first step. We talked about observation. And now, we are going to the hypothesis step. So today we're going to learn all about hypothesis. So, what is a scientific hypothesis? Before every lab experiment, a scientist must form a hypothesis. The hypothesis is a launch pad for the rest of the experiment. Who can tell me remember what the hypothesis is?
Oh,
Kaden.
a theory.
It's a theory. What else do we call it, LJ?
An educated guess.
An educated guess. Now, does that mean we're just guessing silly?
No.
No, you're using your prior knowledge to make an educated guess. So you guys would not go outside and make a hypothesis that the grass is purple. Is that a silly hypothesis?
No, it's not a hypothesis.
That's not a hypothesis. But now if I said grass turns brown and crunchy when doesn't get enough water, is that a hypothesis?
Yes.
It's true.
Right. But if you're a kindergartner not understanding grass, that would be a good hypothesis.
I know when I was first.
All right,
born.
listen. But what is a scientific hypothesis? How does it set the experiment into motion? What is a hypothesis? A hypothesis is a prediction about an outcome from an experiment. It is based on observation and data. It is also an exclamation of theme. Give me a second.
Well, I think Mr. should have been here.
Thank you, Kaden.
She helps you with work.
You ain't gonna be able to get it.
You're not gonna get. I think it's pronounced.
So let's decode it. So we know PEH makes the what? And then we have the EN. So in omni
Phenomenon.
phominy. A phenomenon is something that happens in observe. This could be a rainbow and how it forms in the sky.
That's cool. That's really cool.
I don't think it's pronounced phenomenon. Phenomenal.
Well, that's how we're gonna say it. A hypothesis must be testable to be valid. So when I say a hypothesis has to be tested, what does that mean?
Like if you're saying the restaurant bread and crunchy, then you're gonna not get a
Kaden, all I'm hearing is gargling. You gotta have your set your head up, get your head off your brow rider. Gavin, that bumblebee's gonna be mine.
I heard him say mushrooms. That's all I heard.
All right, Kaden.
Like if you're like a kindergartner and they're gonna do the grass room, you still give the grass the water.
Right. So the hypothesis might be, how much water does a grass need to no longer be brown and crunchy? Or how many drops of water can be a 1 penny hold? All right.
I think a penny or a drop of water could
All right. Listen. For an experiment to take place, something must be tested. If there's nothing to test, or if the hypothesis is not testable, then no experiment can be occurred. Questions relate to the ghosts and other supernatural beings are examples of untested hypothesis. So you cannot test if ghosts are real.
I have.
Well, congratulations, apparently.
Meter.
Okay. Shh. Okay. What, in Pruitt?
Students never leave me alone.
Oh my gosh, Kaden. All right, hey, 1, 2, 3, eyes on me. Let's focus. Everyone sit up. Hypothesis and the scientific method. As the building blocks of the scientific experiments, hypotheses are important. It may require years of data collection and observation before the hypothesis can be formed. The hypothesis is designed to answer a question through experiment. Hanelli, what are we trying to do through a hypothesis?
Or a hypothesis?
Are we trying to answer a question or make silly guesses?
Answer a question.
Answer a question. Good. The hypothesis, the scientist can design an experiment. There's a picture of an experiment. There's a picture of a scientist with test tubes. Experiments are based on a hypothesis. Example of a hypothesis. Informal hypotheses can be made from our interaction with the universe. For example, if the sky is cloudy in the morning, then we may hypothesize that it will rain later. If we form this hypothesis based on our knowledge of clouds and precipitation, the hypothesis is testable because we have the weather record guide us. So, here are a few other hypotheses. Number 1, air pollution causes breathing problems. Cigarette smoking causes lung cancer.
Yeah, that's obvious.
Aerobic exercise lowers person's heart rate. So, thinking of some of those, what can you do? What hypothesis can you maybe make, Kaden?
I don't know.
Raise your hand if you can come up with a hypothesis. Gavin.
Well, a hypothesis would be if if it starts to thunder, then we may know that there will be a storm coming.
Okay. LJ.
If there were the
puffy clouds but gray, and then it was sprinkling outside, then we would know it would be raining. And
Okay.
if we would hear thunder, it would be raining a lot.
All right, Kaden.
If you see funnel clouds, there's going to be a tornado from.
Yeah. Also, another predicament we can make is typically if a cold front comes in after it's been being really hot, that can cause tornadoes. Can we make a hypothesis about Chicken Tender Tuesdays?
Yeah.
Yes.
Why?
Because it's not always on Tuesday.
It's not always on Tuesday. Can it be testable? Do we have data to back it up?
Yes.
Yeah, we do. The menu.
Yes.
We could actually do an experiment of how many other days do we have chicken tenders that's not on a Tuesday. Like we did yesterday, we had what? Chicken rings.
Chicken wings.
Was it Tuesday yesterday?
Yeah.
No. Today's Tuesday. All right.
But we should have chicken wings.
No.
No, today we have chicken noodle. All right, listen, learning from the hypothesis. A hypothesis does not need to be proven to be valid. A hypothesis is valid if the scientist's best educated guess is it testable. A hypothesis can be proven correct or incorrect depending on the results of the experiment. Either way, scientists always learn valuable information from an experiment. There's another picture of a scientist in a lab. She has a mask on. She's pouring liquid into a beaker. Scientists always learn from their hypothesis. If a hypothesis is supported by the data, then scientists may try to recreate the same test. On the other hand, if the hypothesis is not supported by data, then scientists will form a new hypothesis in science, and the ultimate goal is to learn not to be right. All right, so now it's time for questions, guys.
Okay, I have a big
Everyone should have number 1 labeled.
Did you say hypothesis?
Here's a hypothesis. The white puffy trees outside are making Miss Mobley Jones' allergies flare up like no other.
Here's a hypothesis. I'm gonna go home.
Me too, but that's not the case. All right, hey, 1, 2, 3, come on, let's focus, guys. We have a lot to get through today.
Okay.
What does the text mean when it says the hypothesis is a launch pad for the rest of the experiment? A, scientists' experiments are usually about launching objects. B, every hypothesis written has to do with the launching objects in the air. C, a scientist's experiment is required to begin any new hypothesis. Or D, a hypothesis is required to begin any new science experiment. Make sure you label number 2. Oh, we don't need a hyphen, baby. You do number sign, but that's okay. Just space. I know what you mean. Also, you didn't line down, baby. No.
I pressed the button.
Okay,
Gotta
so
press it twice.
Oh.
I see. Okay, so what were you trying to do for number 1?
Number 1 was C.
Okay. So yeah, no, you didn't line down. Okay, so line it right. Number sign 2.
We're trying to.
Number sign 2.
The answer to number 1 is A.
Kaden. D. Now drop D. 2, 5, 6. Hannah, how we doing over here? I know you're still new to Braille. Good girl. All right. Nellie. Okay.
Okay, no one can understand.
This side of the room, please make sure you're listening to all my choices and not just being silly. All right, number 2. Which of the following statements is an example of a hypothesis? Choose 2. How many are you going to choose?
2.
How many? So that means you better have 2 letters beside number 2. You get 2 points. So you're picking which 2 are a hypothesis. Okay? A, nobody should eat fruit. B, air pollution can cause health problems. C, water pollution can cause health problems. D, everyone eats too much sugar.
Okay. Mine is a bag.
I was the first one to like
Okay, so you got one answer, so you have to have two. Oh, no, okay, so here, just write your number beside it. What two letters are you gonna put?
We have a bike program.
Okay, the question, LJ, this is why we need to be focusing on me and not playing with our braille writer. Which of the following statements is an example of a hypothesis? Choose two. A, nobody should eat fruit. B, air pollution can cause health problems. C, water pollution can cause health problems. D, everyone eat too much sugar. Choose two.
D is, wait.
Don't say it out loud, write it. Good. Okay. Hannah, sit up, babe. Okay. All right. Uh-huh.
Wait, do Stacy or just C?
You can just do C. All right, now lie down. And now you're gonna write number sign 3. All right, guys, we only have 2 more. Come on.
Okay, bad.
All right. Why is the hypothesis important when starting a science experiment? A, the scientist experiment should be built around the hypothesis. B, the hypothesis should be built around the science experiment. C, the hypothesis at the end of the science experiment. Or D, the science experiment should have many different hypotheses. Line down to number 4 when you got your answer.
I was the first one to label it.
Oh, look at you. Hopefully it's right, Burl.
There's 2 villages in this.
All right.
Is D4?
Yes, D is 4.
Bro does not know the alphabet.
Wait.
Hayden, you didn't, bro. You didn't know the alphabet at the beginning of the school year. So don't be calling out your friends.
I did know
Is it possible to braille a drop T?
No. Hey, all right, last one, guys. Come on. Why is having a testable hypothesis so important? A, if the hypothesis is testable, then the scientist is correct. B, if the hypothesis is not testable, then an experiment will not happen. C, if the hypothesis is not testable, and the experiment will happen. Or D, if the hypothesis is testable, then too many experiments will happen.
Good, that's enough, huh?
That's the last one. I need you to go turn it in the turn-in bin on the right. And then we are going to do some centers because I have some goals that we gotta work on.
yes.
Not the fun magnetic centers like your reading groups, practicing your braille. Actually, I think everyone has some goals that they need to work on.
Why would you ask that?
Can I play my transformer?
No, you cannot play with your transformer.
Okay.
That bumblebee is gonna be mine if you keep playing with it.
Okay.
Here you go, Joey. Here's the right.